we got whole groups of people who are in like a special club, that kind of thing. You a cougar and all this other stuff. I don't like that. That's not me. I don't identify with none of those things. My motivation is simply what God called me to do. I married a younger man because the man that God needed me to be with just so happened to be a younger man.
Yeah.
It was never in my playlist to ever be with a younger man.
What's on your menu?
No, it was not on my menu. It wasn't on my docket. It wasn't on my life plan. It wasn't my desire. It was none of those things.
Like all the best marriages, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I've shared this before, but I share it again. My perfect man list was he was going to be 6 feet or over. I got that.
Yeah.
He was going to be dark
A
skinned.
little more chocolate, a more honey brown. You want a Cocoa Puff?
You're a graham cracker at best. I mean, he was going to be able to sing.
I'm lyrical. I can rap.
Yeah,
I'm lyrical.
he's lyrical.
I am lyrical.
But the vocals, no, it's okay. I've learned to adapt. He was going to, and this was really, and I didn't keep all the journals I had when I was younger, but I wish I could show you. He could not be more than 5 years older than me. He was going to be my age or no more than 5 years. That was a stipulation on my list. And I was dogmatic about that.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of other things I had on my demand list from God concerning my husband. And as you see by this video,
No, that happened.
that didn't happen. He is a man of God. I did happen to include that.
That's good that you at least had that
I
in there.
did include that he had to be a man of God.
Semi-important thing.
He had to be a man of God. He had to be trustworthy, all kind, good, all the characteristics that a good person ought to have.
I'm sorry, but when we make these lists, we kind of like we take that yes, still for granted. Yeah, man of God, woman of God, yes.
Yeah.
But then I want the body like this.
Yes.
And I want, we get real detailed on that stuff. But we don't get real detailed on the spiritual
absolutely.
stuff. But,
because I think we just think the spiritual stuff is a given.
Yeah, like you got all that.
If I'm saved and praying to God, then God knows I need to be with a godly man. But those things were kind of secondary, unfortunately. But I was very immature back then. But
most of us are.
Yeah, I did not intend to be in a age gap relationship. But by the time I got to that point, I was at a maturity with God that I understood that it was more important to follow him and not be so critical and picky, because what I was concerned with was how I would feel. Would I be ashamed? I was more concerned about what other people might say versus what God would say about me, and that's just the honest truth. So
you were building a perfect picture for yourself.
Yeah, because based off of what I thought was best for me and not what was best for my life, according to God's plan for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the issue for a lot of people when it comes to marrying anybody, even if it's not an age gap relationship. A lot of times who you're meant to be with don't come in the very package that you wanted. And because, to be honest, most of us are very superficial, even if we don't think we are, but we are very superficial. But anyway, I married a younger man because that's just how he came. And it's really simple as that. I don't like to try to elevate that above anything else and make it or glorify it and make, it's so special, it's so this or whatever. It's not to me. It's more important, again, that I am in the will of God for my life. It's more important that we have a fruitful and successful marriage, and that means we have to do the word like anybody that wants a God type of marriage. You have to do the word, no matter how old you are, no matter if you have an age gap or not. Marriage principles work when you do it God's way, and that's just really it.
So what was your dating history? What was your, before you met me, what was your dating history, so to speak?
I dated Jesus. Jesus was my boo. No, I was not one to date. I didn't believe in dating Well, I didn't believe in dating without the intent of being married. So I did not see any prospects that I wanted to marry, so I wasn't going to date them, and I wasn't going to allow them to come to me and date me. Um, and I know for some people that feels kind of weird. It's like, what do you mean you didn't date? You know, it wasn't. It doesn't mean that I didn't have attractions to people. It didn't mean that um, opportunities, yes, but I just really so believed, and I have to accredit to how I was raised. I just believed that when it was time, God would reveal it to me. I didn't feel like I had to chase it or try to make it happen. I really believed that he who findeth a wife, so I believe that it was the man's responsibility to do the chasing, to do the seeking, and for me, being the woman, to become a wife. And I talk all about that in my book, How to Be Single and Happy. How I position myself with God to become a wife, because being a wife is it's an anointing, it's a grace, it's a position that you develop into as you are in the presence of God, and He's developing and molding you and shaping you. And when the time is right, when you have matured, that spotlight, read the book, you know what I'm talking about, will come on, and it will illuminate to a husband. So I didn't feel any desire to date and try, because I didn't want nobody tampering with me and messing with my emotions and feelings, you know, and get my heart broken. Like, I've seen too many people do it, and it didn't seem appealing to me. Like, why am I going to mess with that and not be the one? You know, I don't want anybody to taste and see if Casey's good. I know I'm good. You know, so yeah, I just believe that, and that's what happened for me, you know. And I know everybody's story is not the same, and I'm not trying to lock anybody in a box. I believe if you're following God, you do God, you follow God for you. But for me, I just didn't feel that that was how I had to approach dating or getting married. And so immediately when God saw that I was ready, this came to be, and it was not stressful. You know, it wasn't hard. We knew the witness was in our spirits. Everybody that we loved that supported us also saw it and supported it. So it was not a very challenging
Yeah.
situation for us.
Yeah. I mean, what's it like, you know, being married to a young man? What are the differences? Like you said, you didn't have a crazy dating history or anything like that, but if you had to try to guess, like, what are the pros, the cons? What's it like being married to a younger man and navigating that in today's world?
Basic. I mean, I don't know. I think people fantasize about stuff like this, or they
Fetishize.
fetishize
Yes.
about stuff like this. And because Hollywood and magazines and books and dramas, you know, we like to highlight all of the, I guess, exciting probabilities of being in a age gap relationship. We like to magnify the motivations of why people are in age gap relationships, and we got whole groups of people who are in like a special club, you know, that kind of thing. You a cougar and all this other stuff. I don't like that. That's not me. I don't identify with none of those things. My motivation is simply what God called me to do.
You're probably the most boring age gap couple
Yeah,
on
like,
YouTube.
people are like, oh, so how is it? Great, because we work on our marriage. You know, we're not immune to issues or having to develop and grow. We're not immune to having problems, all that kind of stuff. We talked about our newlywed issues we had when we first got married, all those things, all the things that every married couple goes through, we've dealt with. One of the major questions is like, oh, how is the sex? Great, but he's my husband, and he's the only man I've ever been with, and only man I want to be with. So it's great for me. It's great for us. You know, I don't. People get weird. Like I said, we fantasize.
Yeah.
We have this.
No, I mean,
this
that's
idea.
This. So one of the things is, a lot of times people come into this, they have that huge dating history.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like they've been with men this age and they've been with women this age. So now you compare,
Exactly.
and
We don't
didn't have that.
yeah.
We didn't have. I didn't have dating history. I'll talk more about that next video. I didn't have sexual partners before you either. And statistically, people like that who are both virgins coming into marriage tend to have more satisfying sex lives, and we've actually fallen to those statistics based on, I guess, depending on how you want to measure that. So, but again, we have nothing to compare it to. So it's like, well, how do you know? Well, I've never done this before, so
Yeah,
what to compare it to?
people think it's strange. Yes, I was a virgin when I got married,
Yeah.
and that's strange. Oh my gosh, you were over 30 and you never had. Yes, I mean, let me tell you something. And this is maybe this is spiritual TMI. I don't know, but we enjoy our sex life with one another. We enjoy our intimacy, and I just truly believe that when you're able to develop something from ground zero, and you can grow into it, you can make it however you want to be.
Yeah.
And it should be exciting, fun, safe, all the things, right? But on the surface level of what sex is, it's basic, okay? And why would you want to share that with a multitude of people? And it doesn't really change your life. I mean, like, it does change your life because it's a spiritual interaction more than it is a physical, and a lot of people don't know that. That's why having multiple partners can be very detrimental to your soul and to your ability to have good marriages and good relationships. But on a surface level, it's not so mind blowing that it's worth sleeping around and having this experience with multitudes of people for however long, and it really isn't. It's not. It's almost like, would I jump off a cliff to have good sex? No, I will not. Would I sacrifice my life to have one moment of good sex, whatever good sex is to you, with someone? No. So if I wouldn't give my life for it, then why am I going to share my life with someone that's not going to be committed to me for the rest of my life the right way? So that's just how I've viewed sex all my life. And again, I credit it to my parents who raised me that way. I credit that to my relationship with God. And so my virginity was important to me. Doesn't mean we didn't have temptation. Doesn't mean that opportunities didn't arise. So don't act like I don't live in a box, y'all. I'm not like that. But it's just people get really weird about, like.
Well, we live in a very sex worshiping culture.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we do.
But this way, as if you ever wondered, what would it be like if I waited and if I was a virgin and I was, and I waited till marriage, things like that. I'll tell you, it's very low pressure.
Yes.
Because there's nothing, you don't have to worry about what are they looking at, are they comparing it to this person or to that person, and this experience and that experience. All the experiences are new, and all the experiences are fresh, and all the experiences are shared. And that's a beautiful thing. If you have a friend that you share first-time experiences with and things with, that makes you closer friends.
Well,
you have those forever friends.
There's enough insecurities without having to sleep with multiple people. I've dealt with enough insecurities. I need to add this one. Let's not add this one to the pot. So people, again, they fetishize about age gap relationships to the point where they just lose their mind and they think all kind of weird stuff. And again, I do blame society. I blame Hollywood, books, dramas, all the things. And are there some statistical facts about age gap relationships that may be valid? Sure. But again, if you're doing a marriage not according to the Word of God, you're going to have failure. We've learned over almost 9 years of being married now that if you do marriage God's way, 100% of the time, it is successful. I know people say, well, yes, because there's no failure in God. Okay? What happens is that we, the people, get it wrong. We, the people, don't submit 100% to God's ordinances when it comes to marriage. We, the people, choose not to grow up. We, the people, stay selfish. We, the people, we're the wrong in all of it. God is never wrong. He never fails, but we, the people, are the determining factor as to how successful our marriages are. And so you have to realize that. And a lot of people say, well, I know God put us together, but then something changed. God didn't change.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened. Something you failed in. Something you didn't pay attention to. And you just have to be honest about that. And that's a whole nother video, I guess. But I married a younger man because that's just the man God chose for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he had all the qualities. He had the maturity. He had the things that we needed to fulfill the will of God for our marriage. And he's not flawless, y'all. You know, we both are not flawless. We had things we brought to the table that we've had to overcome, grow through, mature in, all the things. But I can say we are happy, and it has nothing to do with our age gap relationship at all. Like you said, I think we're pretty basic and boring. We don't really have any super exciting age gap stories.
Yeah. Now, are there any, I already know the answer to this, but, any difficulties or challenges navigating, especially as a Christian woman, exercising scripture and submission and having a husband who's younger?
No, because he's a husband. He's a husband. See, he's a husband. All right? You don't marry a non-husband. If you marry a non-husband, you're going to have non-husband issues and problems. Okay? I married a husband, and we'll talk about that in another video. What's the difference between a husband and a wife? What those things really mean? It's a mantle. It's an anointing. It's a position that you grow and develop into, and it's a constant development. It's not a one-time deal. You don't become a husband or a wife when you say I do in front of a preacher. It is who you grow into. It's like it's the same type of mantle of a pastor or an evangelist or a preacher teacher. It's that type. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying that it's something that is grown into. You're not a husband because you're a man, or you're not a wife because you're a female. It is something that is a grace that God anoints you with as you spend time with him and you develop and grow. And you'll get that witness in you when you've gotten to that level, because your character changes. When you become a wife or you become a husband, your character changes. How you operate, how you handle everything about your life proves what you are. Just like you can tithe and give, but you may not be a tither or a giver. You can do something one time, but it doesn't make who you are. Until it's your character, you're not that.
There you go.
And a lot of people get married and say, no, this is about my wife, but they're not wives. They're not husbands. And that's a whole nother lesson. But I married a husband. And though he may not have presented in the beginning everything that somebody else would have saw him like, he ain't it. But I had the eye of faith. God gave me vision, insight of who this man was. And I saw a husband on him because I was raised by a husband. That's a whole nother, okay. So I recognized that. My dad blessed us. God blessed us. And so I knew enough that this was a husband. And I recognized that. And despite any deficiencies or whatever, and I don't blame that on age. It's just that because we all got deficiencies. And the fact that I was older, I had more deficiencies. Okay, there's no automatic wisdom button that comes just because you of age. Wisdom, I think, again, we don't know how to differentiate wisdom from experience. You may have a lot of experience in something, but it doesn't mean that you have wisdom. That's why people make the same dumb mistakes over and over and over again, because they don't have any wisdom and understanding.
Gotcha. No. Now, what about having children? I mean, was that a challenge? Did that cause any kind of issues between us, or was that challenging once we did get married?
No. And I'm not gonna say this, but people might think y'all just perfect. Absolutely not. We just exercise our faith. And again, when you have a real understanding of who you are in Christ and you have a relationship with him, God will speak to you your destiny. He will tell you what to say. He'll put the desires in your heart, and then he'll give you the words, and you will speak it into manifestation for your life. Before I got married, before I even knew Jalen was going to be my husband, the Lord began to deal with me on how I spoke about my body, spoke about my fertility and all those things. And so even though I was challenged with the fear, don't get me wrong, I was challenged with that fear. People will always remind me, how old I was. You know, girl, your eggs drying up. Girl, you might want to put them things on ice. You know, you might want to do this, and what's wrong? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but I knew for a fact. I actually tell people all the time, and I set myself up, I guess. But if I'm 40 having babies, I'm gonna be 40 having babies, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if God tell me I can have babies, I'm gonna have babies. You know, and that's just how I stand, and I still stand that way. I'm very strong and adamant about that. There's nothing impossible to me, and because if God gave me a promise, He will fulfill it.
Yep.
And no matter how long it takes, He will fulfill it. And so I didn't walk into the relationship afraid of having kids. We didn't put no pressure on ourselves to have kids when we got married, just because I was over the magical age of, I was 34. We got married. And no, we didn't put no pressure. And somebody might say, well, you should have started having kids right away. No, we waited 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years when we were ready. And we got pregnant with our son, JJ, and we love him. He's perfectly healthy, fine. God has blessed us. I don't feel like I'm slowing down or anything like that. My youth is renewed. Like, God gives you grace for every season in your life. And so I may be the oldest mom in the room. I don't care. I don't care. Because this is the life God built for me. And for me to walk around afraid of being something at a certain age, whatever, is saying that God is not sufficient, that God is not enough. And that's what I'm saying when I allow fear to dictate my actions. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, no. All right, so let's get a couple stats here. So how old were you when you got married?
34.
All right. What age were you when you got pregnant?
37 going on 38.
Gotcha. And how old is your son now?
You trying to put math on people. He will be 5 at the recording of this video. He will be 5 in a month.
He probably already is by the time this video comes out, or just about to turn.
Yeah. 5.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And what is our age gap?
I need another finger, sir.
That's our age gap. Figure it out. Oh man, no, I think that was pretty good. You answered all the pertinent questions that people want to know and all that. And anyone's wondering, well, why isn't he talking? Why isn't he talking? Because the next video coming next week is I married an older woman.
Dun, dun,
so
dun.
I'll be doing a lot of talking.
Spoiler alert.
Video. So that's why it's more like interviewing Cacie, and Jalen will get to talk in the next video. And I'll give my perspective, and then we got another video, another one after that. But now I want to take this time to tell something to all of you who have made it this far. If you are in an age gap relationship, an age gap marriage, or something that is in front of you, we get a lot of questions from people saying, there's someone in their church that's interested in them. It's a younger guy, but they're an older woman. They don't know how to navigate that. They don't know how to navigate parents, all that stuff. Well, we finally decided to put together something for you because we are marriage coaches, we are marriage teachers, we are marriage ministers, and we've decided to put together something for you to help you out. We call it the Age Gap Survival Guide, all right?
Yeah.
This is a special series that we've created as part of our brand new platform called Marriage U. That is our marriage coaching platform that you can access through YouTube channel memberships. All right, so there's that little become a member tab, but I don't know what the button says these days, but there's a join button, I think. And if you need help with it, leave a comment. We'll make sure we send you the link. But you can join our channel memberships, and if you become a channel member, then you become a subscriber to Marriage U. That is our marriage coaching platform with all kinds of marriage and other educational content up there. But the thing that we're talking about right now is the Age Gap Marriage Survival Guide. So that's a 6-video series where we tackle everything from is it right for you to have an age gap marriage relationship, how to navigate parents where they disapprove, how to handle perceptions of people in the world, how to handle subject of submission, children, and even money, experience, all that stuff. So we go really in depth on the education part of it. So if that's for you, if you're in that situation and you need to get some questions answered, we encourage you to subscribe to Marriage U by becoming a channel member on this channel, and you can get access to the Age Gap Marriage Survival Guide series, especially made for you.
If you want to know, just go ahead and join. And don't be that person that leave comments and questions in the comments. Join, sign, be part of Marriage U, and you will know everything you need to know about age gap relationships.
Yeah, and we're adding content consistently.
Yep.
And there's already more content, not just that on there as well. But that's what we're highlighting today. But all that being said, we do love you guys. We encourage you to
do.
come back next week so that you can hear my perspective on it, why I married an older woman. And I think it's going to be a great video and you guys are going to enjoy. So you know what to do. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that YouTube will actually let you know and turn on all notifications. So they'll let you know that that video comes out, because otherwise you may see us and then lose us and don't know how to get back to us. But we are Jalen and Cacie, and what do? We are saving marriages
One story at a time.
We'll see you guys next time. We love you.